PwC calculated that by 2030, the global economy should benefit by approximately 15.7 trillion US dollars. Okay, so thank you for inviting me to give a little bit more of an overview on what I've been working on in the last few years when it comes down to understanding the introduction of algorithms, artificial enabled technologies and platforms in the business context. Just imagine that today, all business schools in the world have mentioned that there will be no leadership courses anymore. Well, the reason why is a new hero has arrived in our society. And that hero we call artificial intelligence. So just to give a brief definition of AI, the way I look at it, very simple, so that we can work with it, is that AI, in my view, is machines acting in ways that seems intelligent. Intelligence is a broad concept, but it appears to be intelligent, can do things that humans do, but in certain tasks even better than we do. So it actually has related to the following question that what we see is that people are starting to wonder, isn't AI gonna take my job? AI is not only a tool today, AI is also an advisor. It's putting advice out there that we use in our decisions. And I think this guy here, and most of you will probably know him, Lee Sedol, the South Korean world champion in the Chinese board game Go. He was defeated by AI in 2016. AI beat the world champion. He actually went so far that he is a representation, in my view, that humans may submit to machine at one point, because at the end of 2019, he retired from the game, saying, this is the end for humans. And in this case, it may be, if we have algorithmic decision-making across every layer, it may be, yes, AI may become our new boss. There'll be a different mindset of how we make decisions, for what reason, and what will be the role of humans. So, could it be that AI, because of its fit with these situational demands, will move into the role of a leader? Because all of these things are usually evoked when a human sees a leader who is authentic. And there I would like to draw the distinction already between what I call artificial intelligence versus authentic intelligence. And that's where we're going to run into a few boundary conditions when it comes down to having AI move into leadership roles. Just a simple example. So machine learning methods, they excel in imitating the real world, but they often lack the real understanding of that world, what it means especially to humans, because if you're going to lead, you need to know that you can make decisions that are meaningful and will have an impact on the world, the ones you're leading. So does this mean that although it seems to have all the assets to run your organization, AI is limited in certain ways at the management level, but once we move into motivating people, giving them meaning and an understanding of a situation, what it means to them, what it means to the organization, it's a different ball. AI focuses on the reduction of error rates as much as possible. And those are qualities that AI doesn't have. AI doesn't have empathy, emotional intelligence, or imagination. Why it would happen? We need to have leadership courses, but with a specific focus much more on the traits that humans have. We need to focus even more on those to make sure that we can contribute this in the most optimal way to how we run our organizations. We need to understand the purpose, and everyone needs to do this, because else we get lost in the data that's out there, and we may put the wrong data in our models, and it's not going to serve our companies. So the main conclusions, and then I want to answer some questions, is from my book is the three key messages that I really want to get across is that, first of all, when we look at leadership, it's a human activity and it will remain one. Also, in this book, some of my frustrations have been, and I think many of you can share with that probably, is that much of our leadership today is also not really showing good leadership. So I'm a little bit frustrated also with how our authorities are acting today. So given the fact that it's so important that the skills that we attribute to good leaders are needed in an AI-driven organization society, we really need better leaders, and we really need better leadership education. So we need to focus on that. The second thing is that from all these developments, what you do see is management by algorithm is going to have a leadership by algorithm, not that much, but they work together. So AI is a co-worker in the sense that, and it's a cooperative process. So in that sense, it will always be a cooperative process in that sense as well. And the final thing is that it's clear that the key point is always going to be to have a human-centered approach when we move artificial intelligence into the more impactful actions that it undertakes. So it addresses also the fact that we need to focus much more on understanding a human-centered use of AI. I hear this term a lot, but I also see that a lot of people don't use it in the right and appropriate way. Human-centered is not only understanding you're doing it for a human end user and that's sufficient. That's the first step. But it's really thinking about what will be the implications when we implement certain AI technologies. I really want to thank you for all your questions and listening to the story that I have. That is in my book, The Leadership by Algorithm.